What is the difference between discrete and continuous variables? Well, let's start off with discrete variables, and they are counted only in integers. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth. Think of it as whole numbers. On the other hand, continuous variables are measured using either fractions or decimals. So we have fractions here, such as 5/3, 1/3, 10/7. And then we have decimals such as 10.3, 27.35, 94.1, and so forth, or etc. Now let's take a look at some examples and see exactly what category they would fit into. First, let's start off with a coin, and a coin can have heads or tails. Let's say we flip a coin 3 times. We want to know how many heads we'll have. Well, we can have 0, 1, 2, 3, so that makes it a discrete variable. We'll put that right there. Now let's say we have a tree, and we want to know, well, what is the height of the tree? Well, the answer to that question could be any number, then it's going to have fractions in it and so forth. So that makes it a continuous variable, and I'll put that right up there. Now let's say we have a dice, and we want to know, well, what are we going to roll? Well, there's 6 different possibilities we can roll with a dice, and those are whole numbers, and that would make it a discrete variable. Now let's say, for example, we have an apple in front of us, and we want to know what exactly is the width of the apple. Well, some of the answers are going to come in decimal form, so that's going to make it a continuous variable. Now let's say we have a pumpkin, and we want to know, well, what is the weight of the pumpkin? Again, we're going to have answers come in decimals or points or fractions or whatever you want to call it, and that's going to make it a continuous variable. Now let's say, for example, we have a deck of cards in front of us, and we want to know how many aces are in the deck. Well, that's a straight up number, and the answer is going to be dependent on how many cards are left. It could be anywhere from 0 to 4, and that would make it a discrete variable. Now let's say, for example, we have a temperature. Temperature could range, and it could be 98.5, 23.1 degrees Fahrenheit, and then obviously Celsius as well. Those are decimals, and that makes it a continuous variable. And okay, here's another example. We have a football, and we want to know what is the average yards per carry a running back has. Okay, it could be 3.1, 5.7, 2.8, and so forth. That makes it a fraction, and that makes it a continuous variable right there. Now, if we just wanted to know how many yards per carry the player had during a game, let's say one run they had no yards, another run they had 4 yards, 27 yards, -3 yards. That would make it a discrete variable because we're using only integers or whole numbers. Now, let's say we were taking a survey and we wanted to know how many footballs somebody had in their household. We could get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. That would make it a discrete variable because it would cover only whole numbers. You can't have half a football. Well, I guess you could cut one up, but it wouldn't work for a survey. And that essentially wraps up our brief overview of what discrete and continuous variables are and how they differ. Hopefully this gives you a good overview. Thank you for watching.